Hi everyone, we are LaChiMoLaLa.
LaChiMoLaLa.
And this is another in the Soop review for BTS season 2, episode 4, BTS Universe. And I have to say, this was my favorite episode so far. I literally LOL'd multiple times, and everybody was just extra cute, especially Jin, who seemed to be unintentionally hilarious the whole episode.
I would have to agree. This is probably I loved all the episodes, but this is very enjoyable because of also all the cooking that happened throughout the whole entire episode. And if you like to cook, this is probably one of the best episodes for you too, Felt like I
Yeah.
learned a lot from their cooking too. So yeah,
I did think I could make a lot of those things. I was like, I should try that. That doesn't seem
yeah.
too hard.
Yeah, like them pouring the ramen with cold water, like mind blown,
Yeah. But why are they rinsing it? It's
Yeah.
supposed to be hot, right?
I was like, wait, what? But yeah, now I felt like I did like a rookie mistake, but I tried it out and honestly, I like the texture better, so they know best.
They know best. Follow their lead. Follow their lead. Well, I love that it
Seriously.
started with the cliffhanger from last week. Who will win foot volleyball? Who will it be?
Yes.
And I didn't know that phrase, deuce, where it's like you're going back and forth. Like, I didn't know that. I don't know sports, guys. Guys, I'm not a sport person. So I was like, I don't understand why they keep saying deuce, deuce. I was like, well, I mean, they're just playing. Why are they playing for so long? I did not get that part at all.
Oh, yeah. I'm the opposite. I'm a sports person, so I totally got that.
Well, I was like, okay, cool. They're still playing. But like, I wasn't sure why. I knew there was a reason. Seemed like there was.
Yeah, but I thought that was super cute. Like how that game lasted like forever though. So
Oh
it
my
was
gosh, so
pretty.
long.
It was pretty even like how they I guess in terms of like how they divided up who goes where, for them to be that close every single time, like having like a
Yeah, they had a
uh
good split, right, for teams.
yeah, pretty much.
And what do you think? Did Jin get hit in the nuts or did he get hit in the stomach?
It was
Controversy.
yeah,
Controversy.
it was pretty close. Yeah, having
It
a
was an
second look.
in-between area.
Yeah, I mean, like it was very close. Like
They skimmed over it, but I was like, yikes, that looked painful.
I honestly like missed it the first time, and until you told me the second time, and then I looked at it even further because there's certain scenes that like when I want to rewatch it again, and then yeah, that was one of the scenes where I'm like, ooh.
I mean, it hit really hard. Even if it was his stomach, you heard the sound. It was like a clump.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it was pretty close, but I'm sure if it was right in that targeted area, then he would have been rolling on the floor like he did in that Run BTS episode where they were playing air hockey and that puck hit him literally in the nuts. And it
That's
hurts
what happens when
so
you're too tall.
yeah,
You shouldn't
and
be so tall.
it hurt so bad that he actually spoke in English saying oh man," multiple
Why do they
times.
all curse in English? It's so funny.
I don't
So
know.
random.
I
Well, of
mean,
course, as we knew would happen though, Jin and Suga on a team is like, no. Even though Suga is pretty athletic, actually. He's usually pretty good at stuff, but foot
yeah.
volleyball is just not his forte.
Yeah.
And I did love how when Jimin was like recapping the game, he was like, I'm so proud of us. We're doing so much better than we used to do. Whereas like Jin was like, I like that we don't know how to play. It's more fun.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's like, we're terrible and I love it. Two very different reasons to play.
Very different reasons. Yeah, but they had such a great time. Like I just love watching them go back and forth like that, and just even the bantering too between like the two teams
Oh
is
yeah, I love when they're like shit talking to each other. It's so
yeah.
cute.
Yeah. And so it's so great. But even at the end, like Suga's like, yeah, it's my fault.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. And I love that the subtitles were like, Sugar coolly accepts blame. He's like, yeah, I did it. He's like, they would have won if I wasn't on there. He was so matter of fact about it. He's like, yeah, it was me.
Like, whatever. I knew it.
Was so funny. And then everyone was like exhausted, right? Because they'd been outside doing stuff, tennis, ATV riding, the race cars, like the foot volleyball. It had been nonstop that day.
Yeah, and Hobie was like so tired. Like while everyone was still playing the foot volleyball, remember, like he was chilling, like just taking that nap with Bam, you know?
So it's like once they came in, it was like, let's eat, of course, because this is really a BTS cooking show, right? More than half the episode is just eating. But Sugar's pork belly looked amazing. I was like, oh my gosh. I was thinking how hard it would be to be kosher Jewish in Korea, because they seem to eat a lot of pork.
Yeah. That whole entire evening was all pork. It was a pork fest, you know. So yeah. I had no idea that, or I missed it. Probably, well, not probably. I did miss it. That I didn't know that Hobie didn't get a share the first time around with JK.
I didn't realize either. I mean, it did seem like there wasn't very much, but I love JK's reasoning. He's like, I wasn't sure it was going to be good. I didn't want to waste all the pork. It was like smart. Yeah. So at least, though, I loved when Hobie was going to get it. He was like, don't worry, this one's much better than the first one. Like, I've learned how to do it now. I'm a master.
Yeah. And JK's like super confident now. He's like, yeah, I just followed the recipe and now I know how to do it.
And I did love that the person who asked him how he could do it was RM, who later confessed that everything he makes tastes horrible. So that's why he was like, how did you even do this? He was like so in awe. And JK's like, I watched a video, I followed the recipe. Please. So good. And RM, of course, is baffled because he could never do that.
Oh, man. Poor guy. He's so gifted and everything else. He's so intelligent. But when it comes to the kitchen,
it's a no-go zone. No-go.
Yeah.
So he has to leave it up to the other dudes. Luckily, most of the other dudes there can cook.
Yeah. I mean, like even watching RM cook ramen was,
oh my gosh, I was worried for him.
It was very painful. Like I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, he couldn't even cook ramen like without 3 or 4 disasters. Like, I'm like, he's lucky he didn't burn himself, first of all.
Yeah.
He definitely got stuff all over him. Also not good. Like, so funny. It was just, all you're making is cup of noodles, man.
And he's like, oh man, why am I, this is why I don't wear white. And he's stretching his whole body. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
I've never seen anyone mix ramen like that.
Yeah, I wanted to go into like, you know, the Weverse app and just help him out, you know, like this is how you do it, you know.
Maybe we should start sending him cooking videos.
I know.
Here's a simple thing you could make. It's only got 3 ingredients and 2 steps. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's go. You know? Yeah, but I mean, it was really fun though, watching each like member, you know, like pretty much cook their own thing. And I said that very loosely because you know, Hobie and Suga came in pair, it was a pair, right? And they had like the cool noodle together. Then JK, of course, he's the first person up.
I also love that what he picked for breakfast was like 2 packets of ramen and fried pork. I mean, I get that because when I'm on vacation, sometimes I'm like, I don't care what time of day it is. If I want steak, I want steak. Yeah. But it did feel like a very lunch or dinner that he had at like 8 a.m. But I was like, respect, you're on vacation.
Yeah. And all I thought was like, dude, that's a lot of sodium. Like 1800.
You're so terrible. You're so terrible. They're on vacation. There's no such thing as sodium or calories or fat.
I was like, that's so much sodium.
Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist.
I know.
Oh, but wait, terrible. Before we get to the whole day of eating, I want to talk about the whiskey party the night before.
Oh, yeah.
So after they had dinner, of course, let's also bring up real quick, Jin went to bed at 8 a.m. or no, 8 p.m. and he slept. He was not the first person up. He was like the third or fifth person up. So it was kind of crazy. Like he's such an old man. I feel like Jin's idea of vacation is literally just sleeping and playing video games. That's it.
Yeah.
That's my dad's idea of vacation. So it's so funny to me. I loved when J-Hope was walking by and he was like, oh, is Jin already asleep? Because all the lights were out.
Yeah. For him, I feel like his I get it. I used to be like him,
yeah, but you get up early in the morning. He doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one thing an early bird. I get that because I'm a night owl. But it's hilarious because Jin just like he sleeps like a teenager. It's so funny. 12 hours straight. Good.
Yeah. My goodness. So I guess his body just really craves sleep.
Yeah, 100%. I love that J-Hope was so concerned. The guys at dinner made him all concerned about his face. He was like so worried. He was like, I got tan. I feel like it's interesting because I do feel like Asian stars are much more cognizant of that. When I get burned, I'm upset about it, but I don't, it's not like, it seemed like he needed to take care of stuff right away.
Yeah.
I just like rub some aloe on and go, oh no, I'm going to look ugly for a week.
Yeah. Same. I'm like, whatever. It's just the epidermis is gonna peel and then it, comes in again and blah blah blah.
But like they were also concerned for him. Jimin especially was like, you gotta do a face mask.
Yeah.
Just so you know, you need a face mask ASAP.
Oh man. But the way that he put that, like his whole like routine though was like the cutest thing.
I love it.
I loved it.
I love it so much. Yeah, the way how he put the mask on, how he had the foot bath, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Like I loved how he was so obsessed with that. He was like, yes, foot bath.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And even Jimin had heard about it. He came in later with his cute little skit, like he was coming into any sort of spa.
Mm-hmm.
I made a reservation. Where's that?
Yeah. Yeah, he's so silly. Oh my gosh.
I love when they role play. I feel like Jimin and Tae do that all the time. They'll just start a scene for no reason. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's super cute. And of course they brought up the CEO's name, like
of course.
Yeah.
Who paid for this? Who do you think?
Well, I guess no longer the CEO, but like the guy
he'll always be their CEO.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was so cute. Like, I love that role playing for sure.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And I love that while they were doing that, Suga, of course, is having wine and reading in the library. It's so funny because he does sleep a lot. I feel like when we see Run BTS and like behind the scenes, like BTS bombs and episodes, he's always trying to catch a cat nap. But when they have unlimited time, he's actually up for a lot of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's enjoying it. It's like, I think he doesn't get enough sleep when they have their schedules going on. But when he gets enough sleep now, it's like he stays up late every night.
Yeah.
Because he knows he doesn't have to get up early in the morning.
Yeah. And I love like he's always.
I loved when he poured that whiskey. It was huge. I was like, yes.
Yeah, and I love that like the guys like totally utilize like the study. I mean, like you would think that RM would be the only person, but nope, Suga and Tae, like they both utilize that study too, which is like pretty cool. Yeah. So but yeah, like he was just chilling down there until Jimin and J-Hope, right? They come over to the lounge, I guess. Or is it the lounge?
Yeah.
No, the game room or whatever, living room.
Yeah, that's a lounge. That's a lounge.
Yeah. And they start playing video games, and then
I love that they both were like, "Oh, let's have whiskey. I'm not tired yet. Let's have whiskey. That'll make me fall asleep."
Yeah,
it sure will.
Yeah. And then like Suga heard them, like, "Ooh, whiskey," like I'll come down.
I love tipsy Suga. I feel like he was slightly tipsy because he had a huge glass of whiskey and then came down and poured another huge glass of whiskey, and he like. Even though J-Hope was like, I don't want any midnight snacks. We'll just have some whiskey, play a game, and go to bed. But Sugar can't help himself. He's like, people are here. I should feed them. He reminds me of my grandma sometimes. You know what I mean? Like he's got a host and he was just
Yeah.
like, oh, I have an idea. Let me go make some snacks. And J-Hope was like, I don't want any snacks. And then the moment they were there, he's like, whoa. That's why he doesn't want any snacks. He knows he'll eat them.
Yeah. But it was so thoughtful though. I loved
So
it.
sweet.
I'm like, yeah, and I like that little interview where he says like, yeah, I have a good memory, like I remember looking in the refrigerator, and I could make something for, like to eat. So he got like a little fancy schmancy and busted
Right?
out like the crab and the
It's
tuna.
canapes.
Yeah. I was like, oh, excuse me. I'm like, okay.
And he didn't even eat any right away. He was just watching them eating it and like smiling. Like
Yeah.
he gets so much joy from feeding other people. It's so cute. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I love it too. It was so cute. So then Jimin and J-Hope, they were playing like a soccer game. And
Oh
so
yeah, and they did like their hometown rivalry.
yeah.
Like Jimin did Busan, and I can't pronounce where J-Hope's from.
Yeah.
It's like a suburb of Seoul, right?
Yeah, Gwonju or I'm so sorry. I'm not getting
There's
this right.
probably something that's silent in there. Probably.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I tried.
We're sorry, guys.
It starts with a G and ends with a U. So
And J-Hope obviously has played the soccer game a lot more than Jimin because he was amazing at it.
yeah, so good at it. Yeah. But yeah, that was super fun to watch too. Because I feel like J-Hope doesn't play a lot of video games either. At
You
least
don't see him really, right? It seems
yeah.
like he likes to go outdoors and play like sports and stuff instead.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was kind of fun to watch,
Yeah.
like just him just relaxing like with Jimin and so that was cool. So
And
like
then
just seeing the three of them actually.
Oh yeah, the three of them, you don't see them together that much. It was an unusual like grouping, like just the three of them, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they were obviously having so much fun together. It was so cute.
Yeah, I loved it. Oh.
And then Sugar was like, I'm tired. Yeah, you should be. You've had a lot of whiskey. He's like, I'm going to bed. And J-Hope gives Jimin the chance to get back at him. And what does he choose? A scary haunted house tour. Like he didn't even pick a video game. I'm sure J-Hope was like, what?
Okay, but I love J-Hope though because he is down to do it though. Like
even though he is a scaredy cat and we all know it.
Yeah, and I wonder if he did that knowing the fact that like, oh, maybe Jimin's like super scared of it too, so we'll both be scared together, But no, like homeboy was like, he already that little rascal. He was totally the rascal of like this episode, because he already
He's so mischievous.
Yeah, he totally like already checked out the houses already like the day prior. So of course he wouldn't be scared, except for the third house, right? He said that he didn't really check that house out.
Yeah.
But the other ones, I'm like, oh, so cruel, but
I love how he was really making it like a horror movie. He was like holding back, and J-Hope had a candle and he had a phone, but he like wasn't lighting the way, and he kept being like, ooh, this is creepy, right? Ooh, this is scary, right? Like he was like hyping up how scary it was to J-Hope. It's like, you don't have to do that, he'll be scared.
Yeah, he did that to J-Hope, but then he would look at the cameraman and have like this big smirk on his face,
like a devilish grin. I was like, oh man,
I'm like, what is he planning? And I mean, like, I'm so proud of Hopi though. He made it through 2 houses out of the 3. So I mean,
he went into the third one. He just didn't stay very long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he was the one who was like, yeah, we'll just go to all of them. Yeah, I'm cool, man.
Yeah.
And Jimin's like, are you sure? Like he was being so scary. I would have probably freaked out too. Yeah. It's like they're way far away from the main house. They're like in the forest. It's like all spooky, like twig snapping and like owls hooting. I mean, yeah, it definitely must have seemed like a horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's it was really funny though, because like what happened in the third house, like Jimin like just screamed and it just freaked Hobie out, and then he's like, ah, and then he started cursing like crazy, which was
So much.
so funny.
So much that he made a point of saying how embarrassed he was afterwards. And he was mad at Jimin for like making him look like that.
Yeah.
He was more mad about that than that he was scared. He was
Yeah.
like, oh, you made me curse so much. But you're right. They bleeped out like 30 seconds. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, good for him though.
Yeah.
At least I know he's human.
He has a large swear vocabulary. That's what I learned.
Yeah.
He knows a bunch of swear words, not just one or two, a lot.
Yeah. So we know that if he's really, really freaked out, he will bust out that side of him where he's just gonna curse like there's no other.
It was so funny. And I was like, wait, they were trying to mellow out, right? The whiskey was supposed to put them to sleep. How do you go to sleep after that? I mean, they did, but I was like, once I had all that adrenaline pumping in me, it would have been much harder to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. But somehow they both managed to go to bed after that. So yeah, but that was so cute though. You know, like I really love that scene.
They have such a great relationship. Like it's always a treat to see the two of them, just the two of them together.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then we touched a little bit on how the next day, which third day, right? Yeah. I was like, wait, 1, 2, yeah. So they all got up at different times. JK was the first one, and he cooked his little fancy pork belly and ramen meal.
Bam is the best alarm clock, obviously.
Yes.
Oh, I loved how someone finally used the vegetables in that like plant cultivator. JK did that, which was really cool. I also loved how we've talked about this before. We got to see full JK angry eating mode. Where he's like scowling and he's, you know, it seems like he hates it, but really he loves it.
Yeah.
It's a very weird contrast.
I honestly did not realize it until you mentioned it. And then I saw it. I'm like, right there.
He's doing it. And even when he had like a good idea, he was like, it looked like he was going to yell at himself, but then he like had a fabulous idea. Let's add vegetables.
Yeah.
Oh, and that lavender white like sweatshirty thing he was wearing. That's one of the things from the In the Soup like Weaver stuff that I was like, ooh, that's cute. So I was like, yay, someone's wearing it. It's so cute.
Yeah, that cute sweater. I love it.
I really liked it. That and Hobie's crazy colorful pants are the two things I like the most.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was so cute that he like had a plan. He came together. He was doing all his stuff. He's noticing things. He's adding more things. Like he's a very confident chef because he can just do that.
Yeah. And I just loved how he just ate it and like the subtitles were like, oh yeah, he really enjoys his food even though he cooked it, you know.
He was very appreciative. He was like,
yeah.
And all the while scowling, but making happy noises.
Yeah. And then the next after he was done eating, the next were a pair, which is Suga and J-Hope. J-Hope got up early, so I wonder if
compared to the day before. Yeah,
so I wonder if he's like an early bird too. Probably. You know, who naturally just wakes up early.
It seems like he has a coffee addiction, so maybe his body literally is like, get up and get me coffee by a certain time.
I could see that. I
mean, my brother has like a Diet Coke addiction, so I know what that's like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was smart. I feel like Hobie always manages to find someone else when he goes to the kitchen, which is really smart because he knows he can't cook. So I always think that that's interesting. And the other good thing about him is he's not a picky eater. Almost every time when someone suggests something, he's like, oh yeah, I love that. Oh yeah, sure. You know, that's another great way to get other people to cook for you.
Yeah.
Don't be picky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so Suga made this like wonderful cold noodle soup.
Yeah, they were like
type
cold buckwheat noodles. We cannot pronounce the name, guys.
Yeah, sorry. I don't want to offend anyone. Yeah. And so you know, and it was like in the subtitles too, like did it say like it's a great hangover food or something like that?
No, Hobie was like calling it hangover, whatever.
Oh, okay.
It was just like, yeah. But I also thought it was interesting how Suga put a lot of like vinegar and mustard, two of my favorite condiments, in it, and Hobie was like, oh, I like it bland. I just I like it bland. I was
Yeah.
like, bland, really? I mean, I guess he was hungover though. So
Yeah.
sometimes you don't want anything with too much flavor when you're hungover.
Yeah.
But I was looking at how Sugar was making it and thinking, if I order those, that's what I should do. Put
Yeah.
vinegar and a lot of mustard in it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would love it.
And rewinding a little bit, like Sugar was like really proud of him that he drank whiskey, like the whole bottle with Jimin.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious when J-Hope was like bragging basically that he and Jimin finished a whole bottle, and Sugar was like, Jimin finished it, and he was like, no, we both drank it.
It's like, good job.
Yeah, he was like, oh, good job. It was totally like complimenting your younger brother for something. It was so cute.
Yeah. It was so cute. Yeah. And so then after they were done eating, like it was really interesting because all these guys woke up random different times where they just completely missed each other. And so then after they were done eating, then it was Jin next, right?
He came in when they were doing dishes, when J-Hope was doing dishes.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, are you guys cooking? He was like so excited. And then it was like, oh, we just ate. He was like, no. And Suga offered to cook him another bowl of those noodles, but he was like, no, I'll make my own thing.
This is where the real magic comes in this episode. Poor Jin.
Well, I mean, we all know Jin's pretty good in the kitchen. He has a very long history of being able to cook, but this was not his day.
Yeah. Every dog has his day, and obviously this is not his day at all.
No.
And okay, so where did it go awry? Well, I don't know. You chose like a little pot to cook your egg in. So
I think even before that, with the amount of tuna he put in, like,
oh yeah.
I mean, he said it was going to be kimchi based, and then do you remember J-Hope's face? He was like, oh. He was laughing, he was dying, he was pointing it out to Suga, like he couldn't stop talking about it. He was just like, it's not going to taste like kimchi, you're just going to taste tuna.
And that's where he kind of just giggled a little bit, right?
Yes, I just loved how he was making fun of him. It's like, J-Hope, you can't even make this. Very judgy.
Yes. Yeah.
But then you're right, he tried to make an egg, but he didn't use a frying pan.
Yeah, he used a pot, which is like, I mean, if you're gonna use a pot,
why was he super tired? I don't understand why he did that.
and we already discussed that, like he slept early, like at 8 p.m.
Yeah. So he should be pretty awake.
I guess not.
I've never tried to cook an egg in a saucepan, not once. Not even scrambled.
I mean, like scrambled. Yeah, I think I've done that before, because
he did scramble it. He had to.
Yeah, but like, yeah, that fried egg.
Like you can't fit the spatula in a way to flip it.
Yeah,
and then doomed.
And then he's like, another thing to clean. And so then he grabs like a crepe pan, to cook his eggs.
Is that what that was? I was wondering because it was like so shallow. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought it was cool for cooking eggs, but I was like, what is that? What is that really for?
Yeah, it's for crepes. And so, I mean, I have a crepe pan and it looked exactly like
you
that.
You do?
I do, yeah.
What is a crepe pan? Is that something you got when you got married?
Yes.
It doesn't seem like something you buy yourself.
No.
I mean, I love crepes, but I probably still, I don't even know what they look like, obviously. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so he still picked the wrong tool.
Yeah, but I mean, at least to your point, like at least he could use his spatula this time like, But man, his sunny side up egg became like is it sunny side up?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, sunny side.
Fully, yeah.
Yeah. And then it became like over easy where he accidentally like flipped over the egg whites.
Oh my gosh, when he was putting it in the bowl, I was dying when he like screamed no, and then they
Yeah.
showed like the cameraman on the egg, and then you just hear it, and then they showed him doing it. It was so
Oh, so
amazing.
man. And even before then, too, like he told the cameraman, please don't record this, you
Yes, he was
know?
like, "Oh, don't film this. Don't film
No,
this. This is
no,
terrible."
no,
And I
no.
love how even just like when he was playing video games the time before, he's keeping like a running commentary to himself where he's like, "How could you do this? You're better than this. Come on, I know you have this." Like, it's so funny.
Yeah, that was so good.
But when he screamed no, it reminded me of like it was like Streetcar Named Desire, Marlon Brando in the rain. You know what I mean? It was like,
I
no,
know. He was so dramatic.
someday. It went on for a while. It was serious.
Yeah. Totally. So,
So good.
oh man.
And he was like so embarrassed. He was like, "You'll just cut this out, right? You could just edit this out." It's like, no, this is comedy gold. This is staying.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my goodness. Poor guy though. Then he comes over there and he eats like his food. Well, sort of eats his food because he winds up playing a video game.
Right.
And that video game didn't go his way.
No, he was doing terrible at that too. And he was so you could just see him being like, "Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Poor guy.
Poor guy.
And then RM comes over, and then, you know, I guess Jin didn't finish all of his food and just wound up giving
The
it.
bowl was huge."
Yeah. He wound up giving it to RM, like his leftovers. And RM was so grateful about that. And then that's when he talked about cooking and how it isn't his forte, and how he's very grateful for the members, and he thought cooking was stressful, and then he didn't, and cat's out of the bag, you know, like he doesn't want to cook because he doesn't want to get stressed out. So
Right. And he also said all his food tastes horrible. I feel like it was when I heard all of his monologue, I was like, "Oh, I get it. He puts in X amount of effort, but it doesn't taste good."
yeah.
So yeah, what's the point? Like, I like to cook, but it does take me a while. And so I don't like to do it if I don't have enough time, if I'm rushed. But if it wasn't good at the end, there really would be no point. So I really felt for him. But at the same time, I was like, wow, you need to, I think you said this, he needs to marry a female sugar. Otherwise, he'll starve. And you could see him when he was getting so stressed out over making like a cup of noodle. Like, I was getting stressed out for him. I can understand why he doesn't want to do stuff over like a flame.
Yeah. I'm like, oh no, it's not that hard. But I mean,
it's
you know,
hard though.
okay.
Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, except he had the perfect amount of boiling water.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
It was just hilarious. But I love that he made that to go with what Jin had given him, because he looked at the leftovers and went, awesome, but not enough.
Yeah. 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 And then after RM was Tay. So
oh my gosh, Tay getting up in the morning with his crazy hair.
Yep.
So cute.
Yes.
I love how he always looks like he's like, where am I? What's happening?
Yeah, he's always like, his hair's always disheveled, and like he just walks over every single time to the lounge.
Yeah.
But even beforehand though, like Taeyoung was already there already, right? Like trying to decide what to eat and stuff like that. Kind of like stalling, you know, like hoping someone would walk in. And lo and behold, like JK from the outside, he saw.
He tried to get Jin to cook for him. And Jin was like, no, I'm busy. I have to finish this level.
Yeah. Like, get out of the way. No. Yeah. And so then that's when he was trying to decide what to do. And then JK looking in, he's like, okay, well, Jin's agonizing over that game, and V is trying to decide what to do. So
100% right on both counts.
Yeah, both accounts, you know. And so JK comes over, he sits down in the living room, and then Taeyeon comes over and be like, cook for me.
Well, you know what? He might not have asked if JK hadn't bragged about what he made for his own breakfast.
That's true.
Like, Tay was like, what? Didn't you hear? I think he even said, he's like, stop talking if you're not going to cook that for me.
Yeah, he was totally gloating, like,
Oh my
well,
gosh.
I had pork belly and I
It was so
had, it was
good.
so good,
I harvested my own vegetables. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, so funny. I love though how he caved pretty easily. Like
Yeah.
Jay was just like, come on, come on, come on. And he was
It's,
like, ugh.
ugh.
I loved how he was like, how are you gonna live if you can't cook? And Tay was like, I won't live very long. Just shameless. Shameless.
Yeah.
Doing his Tay thing where he's just so charming that you're just like, fine, whatever, I'll do it.
I'll cook,
Okay.
and I love this scene too because you see, okay, now it looks like JK's like the older brother again, and he's watching like V with like the noodles and how he's preparing, and you see his eyes look over like with like concern, like every single time, like, ugh.
And I loved how he was giving him tips. He's like, you have to put these vegetables in. And Tay's like, why? And he's explaining it. He's like, you have to put this in the freezer. And he's like, why? He's explaining, you know what I mean? It's like, he knows Tay's not going to remember this, or he's never going to do it again. But he's still willing to like share all the information he knows in the hopes that someday Tay will figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, but that was so cute though. And like while they were cooking, like while JK was cooking, like V was totally like giving him so many compliments,
which is smart. That's the way to do it, right? It was just like a nonstop compliment parade about how amazing he was. What a genius he was. Oh my gosh. Like,
oh, you're so good, kind of pretty much,
And then I love though when JK was making the meat and it was like finally done, he like watched V take a bite and then he was like, is it good? And he was like, like he needed that confirmation, like that it was done properly. And then he totally just peaced out. It's just like, he didn't say anything after that. He's like, I'm out of here. Just left so that Tay could just eat to his heart's content, which was hilarious. He never even sat down. He just stood up over the counter and like ate.
Just ate so fast.
I do love how each of the guys cleans up after themselves though, which is really cool. Like I've lived with a lot of roommates who didn't. So I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, they all clean up really well, so.
Although I have been nervous, there's like that little like, it's not an island. It's like it looks like it has like spices and stuff on it. It's like a little aluminum 2-shelf caddy on wheels. And they always look like they're going to run into it, but they just slightly miss it. Yeah. I don't know. It's like the kitchen's not big enough for it. I'm always like, ugh, like I totally thought RM was going to knock it over because RM.
It's RM.
I was just very concerned. I was like, ooh, watch out for that. It's got like all the oil and the spices in it.
Yeah. But so far so good.
Right? Yeah, they've done good so far. And then it was so funny because they're like, we've shown you everyone except Jimin. What's Jimin doing?
Yeah.
Sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah. He stayed up so late,
Yes.
So
I bet you he didn't go straight to bed when he got back to his room. He probably like messed around on his phone or something for a while because he slept most of the day away.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And so then after that, what did they do after that? It started raining, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or no, this was before it was raining. RM was outside, right? And he was reading and Jimin finally got up, right?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure they went in to watch the volleyball from the Olympics.
Oh yes, that's right, the Olympics,
which was so cool. I mean, I loved that they included them like watching it, and I loved how hyped up they were about it. It was so adorable.
Yeah, I loved it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, all 7 of them were there watching the Olympics. And
they flash back like the day before they'd been watching archery and now they were watching volleyball. They were so invested. Like they were like freaking out. It was so cute.
Yeah. And it's so funny because that's exactly how I acted during the Olympics too.
Yeah. It felt very universal. It's like, yes, everyone's excited about stuff like this.
Yeah.
And they were like so concerned about like, oh, what's happening? Oh, the wind. Oh, that, like they were like very in it. Yeah. They were so worried and nervous. Even Suga, who I don't think of as being, that invested in most things besides music, was like all amped up, like having a heart attack. Like
Yeah.
So cute.
And the archery one was like really hilarious because then like JK started singing one of the ladies' names, you
Yeah.
know? And then later like Hobie joined the party a little bit later and he started to do the same thing, like started singing the name and then
It's obviously some sort of song or something, like some
yeah.
sort of theme song.
Yeah, and JK's like, "Oh, too late. I already did it. You know, I already sang her name."
Shouldn't come late.
I
Shouldn't come
know.
late.
Yeah.
But like when she won and they were all dancing and like JK and Bam were dancing together and RM and
That's
Tay
so
were like
cute.
hopping around hugging each other and everyone was clapping. I mean, imagine if you're that girl and you see all this. Wouldn't you be like, "Oh my god, BTS was cheering me on."
Yeah.
Seems
And
pretty awesome.
yeah, and it's funny too, like I don't know if you know, but during the Olympics, like they allow you to play like their one of your favorite like pretty much like theme songs like if you win or something like that. I mean, that's what I recall. I'm pretty sure that's the case. And so a lot of these athletes chose BTS as their
I remember when I was watching the
yeah.
Olympics, there was a lot of BTS on. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that the athletes got to choose it though.
Yeah.
I just thought
Hmm.
the event organizers were like, well, obviously, let's play
Yeah.
something fun.
Yeah, because I think it became a controversy for like a couple of them because like they requested BTS and then they wound up playing a different band like Blackpink,
Ah,
and they're like,
why?
no,
Because there was too much BTS requests.
I don't know, but that's hilarious, and I'm pretty sure I maybe I need to fact check myself on this, but I think the archery team like pretty much chose like BTS.
Amazing. Well, I
Yeah.
remember watching women's volleyball. I didn't watch the Korean team, but when I watched Japan versus America, there was definitely BTS being played.
Yeah, butter.
100%.
Yeah, yeah,
I wonder
yeah.
who requested it.
I know. Yeah. But oh,
But yeah, when
yeah.
they were watching volleyball too, they were like so invested. They were so excited by it. And they kind of, like you said, trickle in one by one and they're all just like captivated.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is so relatable because I was the exact same way, with like obviously the American teams.
And RM was so into it. He was like freaking out.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was so fun how he was just like, "Oh my god, they're legendary." And he was like pulling his hair and like having a heart attack. It was so cute.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so good. I love that. Like all of them huddled together like that. That's so cute.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
then after they were done in there, right? Like Suga came to get JK and they went down to the studio right before it
Yeah.
started raining.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Did you notice that there were a ton of bottles of bottled water like next to JK? Like
Oh, so you think
literally,
he was in there for a while?
yeah, like literally there were it was all lined up beautifully too, like to the right of him, like so many water bottles. Like it seriously looked like about probably 20 bottles, it
Whoa.
was a lot.
Whoa.
And so he had already drank some water, so but I thought that was like really interesting just seeing the environment that he was in. But I really like that part too because you see Suga's proud face, the moment like JK was like, he was in that mood and like creating that melody that he wanted him to create. So, oh,
And of course, this was the part that set Twitter on fire because they were talking about their new album, but we didn't get to hear what they were talking about. Like they were talking about new beats, but we didn't get to hear the beats. We didn't get to hear what JK wrote. I also loved when they took the audio off and they told us they're like, we're going silent mode.
yeah.
When RM and Sugar were talking to each other outside, and they were both like so like relaxed and laughing and obviously like bantering about what they were going to do, going back and forth. And I just feel like that's when you can really see Suga at his like most happy. He's like easily smiling and just like really enjoying himself. It just like made my heart like grow 3 sizes. I loved it so
Yeah. Yeah, like
much.
even the instrumental, like I don't know if you heard that instrumental when they kind of like zoned everyone out, like all muted everyone. Like even that like that instrumental right there was like really really good. And it makes me wonder, like, so
right. I mean, we know Suga does great instrumentals. For all we know, he did all the background music.
yeah. And so I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. So
it was exciting. Just thinking about the possibility of a new album is, of course, very, very exciting.
yeah.
So to know that they're actually working on it, even though we don't know when it'll happen, just makes your heart flutter. You're like, yes.
Yeah, there's definitely another album in the works for sure, like after this episode, so and I love how they talked about like, oh, we don't have like another song like I guess like he said like another song like Idol, and that
he wanted like a super like fun performance-y song.
Yeah, and that was like back in 2018, but I'm like what? You guys have like so many other like good songs after
What's
that.
On? Isn't On a super performance song?
I
love that he was concerned. He was like, I want something higher energy that we can perform at concerts. Like, it's kind of neat to know that they think about stuff like that they're trying to curate, not just for like, they're not just making music they enjoy, they're trying to make music they know we'll enjoy as well.
Yeah.
And we'll enjoy anything, spoiler.
I know, seriously. and I was like, wait, what? Like, On is a really like fun and exciting song. Right? Yes. Dynamite obviously is a really like, yeah. And I'm like,
I love how he's like, I want something huge, something big like Idol. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It sounded very exciting. It's funny because that was a very tiny part of the episode, but I'm sure it's the part that most of us were the most like, what's happening? What's going on? Tell me everything.
Yeah. Like you said though, like on Twitter, Twitter was on fire because what I saw was new album and I was like, why is this on my feed? And so then I clicked into it. I'm like, oh.
Like, I gotta watch that episode.
I was like, oh, okay, I guess I should watch In the Soop like today, so
figure out what all this is about.
And I'm like, huh? And I was like, oh, okay. And then I watched the episode and I'm like, okay, I get it, there's gonna be a new album, we just don't know when, which it goes in line with like what's going on with them, because I think I briefly mentioned this to you, like, obviously like not on this platform, but we talked about their new distribution deal, like they're not going to release a new album with Columbia Records, so or with Sony, so
they're probably writing it now and then they'll record it when their new deal hits.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they're pretty much I'm assuming that they're done with it already, and so it's like all about timing and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna release it under their new distribution deal with Universal, so which is a very smart way, because you want your new album to be released under that distribution deal, because they're going to do all the marketing for you too, in the US. So I mean, why not? So smart move.
And did they put B out in November last year?
Yes.
So it wouldn't be that surprising. I mean, I'd kind of hope they put something out in November of this year, but I could see them putting something out like right after Christmas, like in January or February even.
Yeah.
And now it might not be that soon. It might be way later. Who knows? We don't know what stage of the process they're in, but we know they've been working on it for a while. So
yeah, I thought I read that their distribution deal with Sony ends like in November or this month. So
it makes sense that maybe it'd be early next year, hopefully.
Yeah, probably. So who knows? So everything's about timing too, so it depends if they want to make it into like some sort of deadline also, for award shows and stuff like that too. So who knows? But
it's happening.
Yeah,
get
it's
excited.
Happening. Yes. It's very exciting times, Army. So and so that was a really fun scene. It's like you get that like glimpse of like how they make their music, and it's really surprising to me that like going back to JK, that he's never written music in like some sort of like soup or / forest setting, all these years, because
why do you think that's surprising? I mean, they live in a big city.
I don't know, like I feel like artists like they even though they live in a big city, sometimes they retreat to like different areas where they focus, like kind of like writers too, right? Like they,
Yeah, sometimes. Although I don't picture BTS, getting a rundown church in Ireland or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Coldplay or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, but I would think that like he'd be outside in some sort of naturey thing, like writing or something, because they've been in it for so long already, so I guess that's why it's, to me, that's like a little bit shocking,
Yeah.
and that doesn't necessarily have to be like quote unquote in the suit, but like somewhere like outside,
You're surprised he didn't do it in some sort of like outdoor environment. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, for JK's like, comment. So
he's probably written one in the boxing gym. That's probably where he's written it.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I loved when they segued away from this. Everyone was having like private time because it was raining. It was like pouring. So everyone was painting, which I thought was hilarious because it doesn't seem like they were asked to paint. It seemed like everyone just was like, oh, it's raining, I'm going to go paint. Like, yeah. It just was what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. And so they all had their cute paintings, Jin was very like very simple, his painting. And then
it was very abstract, just like shapes and colors and stuff. I loved how he was again giving a running commentary to himself about what a great pure painting he was making, like an elementary school child, just very pure. I was like, what does that even mean? Yeah. But he was very invested in it. I feel like he's his own hype man, and that keeps him going.
Yeah. And then the next person they showed was Hobie, right? Like he was painting pretty much like he said it was something modern, right? Like modern.
Yeah, he'd seen like a clip on YouTube of someone painting that way, so he was like trying a new technique, which I thought was cute also because he even said, he's like, I'm not great at painting, but I always do everything 100%. Yeah. And I'm like, that's what we love about you. Like, you're willing to try stuff even though you're not great at it, and you still give it your all. You don't like crap out halfway through or whatever. So many of us will just give up when things don't look the way we want them to or aren't going the way we want them to. Mm-hmm. It takes a bigger person to finish something.
Yeah. And then after Hobie is V, right? And he does his painting. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he must love that artist. Like we've seen him do that type of painting like in Run BTS too, like
and he's painted it like on a jacket before. Yeah. It's kind of like his own little signature. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's really cute because I remember the last time I saw that was that one Run BTS episode when they were assembling the furniture together. Yeah. Of the IKEA furniture, and then he had that little random painting of that,
Yeah. Yeah. So. And I also love how he pouts when he paints, just like when he eats, just like when he gets up. I mean, Tae has resting pout face, which is hilarious. Like he's just always doing it's like his default. It's so funny.
I did not notice that. And
oh my
now
gosh, when he was painting, he was like,
okay, now I'm gonna notice that now too. Just how you mentioned the angry JK face, when it comes to eating. Now I'm gonna
pouting. You saw him pouting when he was eating when he was eating JK's pork belly. It was ridiculous. Yes, it was so over the top. I was like, you must know you're doing that,
or not,
or not. It's hilarious though. But yeah, I was dying when I saw him doing it while he was painting. Yeah. And he was so excited about painting, he got a second canvas. He's going to do another one. Like he was very into it. I also loved how RM like went back to his and kind of like painted some rain on it. Yeah. The mood of it, which was cool because he didn't seem very happy with it before. Yeah. Even though I thought it looked great.
Yeah. But yeah, I totally loved how he now he looks like he's satisfied with it. Yeah. So
well, he took a picture, right? So that must mean he feels like it's actually done.
Yeah. And so this is the part where he texted all the guys like, hey, let's do foot volleyball like in the rain, so which is really strange. I don't know why they I guess blurred out who he was texting to. It's not like we could really see, so I was like, that was
well, who else would it be?
I know.
Unless he like texted the producers to see if they could do it, because maybe their stuff wouldn't work in the rain.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, yeah,
that was a strange editing thing, because I was like, why would they do that? But okay, it's not like he's using the iPhone at the time, unless he was, dun, dun, dun.
Can't use that iPhone.
Yeah,
only, please.
I'm spreading.
But I loved how some of the guys were like very concerned. They were like, really, in the rain? I was like, what's the big deal? It's just outside in the rain. I've been outside in the rain a lot. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I think JK was the most concerned.
Yeah, which was hilarious, because I think of JK as always being like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
But it was surprising because it was Jimin who was like, we're doing this. Everyone come. Everyone come. We're doing this. Like, he was recruiting people left and right.
Yeah. And I'm super proud of them because they wore tennis shoes. And
finally.
Finally,
they didn't have to worry.
Yeah, I was gonna worry if they were gonna play in the rain with sandals or slippers. Yeah, exactly. Now that you could really hurt yourself. No, those legs are made for dancing, so
they're probably insured, so you got to keep them up.
Yeah.
I love how before everyone got out there, Jimin and JK and RM had like a water gun battle. Like, it's already pouring rain and yet they're shooting each other with giant water guns.
It's so cute. It was the cutest thing. They were totally reliving their youth for sure, And like Jimin, he's like, I thought I could stand in this area and shoot you guys like the best, this is like the best vantage point, and it wound up being the worst, of course.
So the worst. So funny. Typical. He started it, but he was the worst at it.
Yeah. And you see JK just like laughing and just shooting at him, like, so easy, like easiest target ever.
So good.
Yeah.
And then they started the foot volleyball, right? And then everyone else kind of trickled out as they came. I loved how excited Jin was for it, though. Like, when Jin came, he like ran. He was like, I want to play. Let me play.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah. So it was fun watching them play in the rain. They looked like they had so much fun.
Yeah. And I loved how they didn't play like a game. They were like, let's just rally. Let's just go back and forth. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I play pool like that with friends, where it's like, let's not be competitive. Let's just, if you can get a ball in, good for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that was really fun to see them all having like a great time.
Yeah, I all the moments where most of them are together are always the best, So nice. I mean, Suga wasn't there because he was recording, he was working on the tracks, but pretty much everyone else was there, right? Or except maybe J-Hope wasn't there, but there was like 5 of them there having fun.
Yeah.
And they didn't care how wet they got. It was amazing.
Yeah. Oh man. And then leave it to the younger line to think of shenanigans, Right. Oh my gosh.
Giving themselves an unwinnable challenge.
Yeah. Let's hit this basketball with our foot. Whoever goes in first, or whoever makes it in first, gets to go in.
Right. And so in the basketball hoop, it's like, how are you going to do that? And JK was so certain. He was like, oh, I've done this before. Yeah, but probably not in the rain. It's wet. Yeah. Like, it makes a big difference on how your foot hits the ball, where it goes.
Yeah. And then Jimin, he was like, I wanted to get the ball every single time. I don't know why I wanted to get the ball every single
because that's so his personality. He always wants to help other people. Like, I feel like if Jimin went to a park and, a kid kicked a ball too far, he'd run after it, and turn it. And he's so sweet.
Yeah. So I thought that was super cute.
And that was going on for so long that they could even do a cutaway to RM in the gym.
Yeah.
That's how long this shenanigans was happening.
Yeah.
They were like, we don't have to show you all of this. It goes on for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. It really did. So,
and were you happy with RM in the gym, or do you have lots of judgy things to say?
Oh, is this where the real tea comes in?
Yes.
Yeah, he did like a lot of same movements like he did in the first episode. So was it the first? Yeah, the first episode, or was it the second? Well, whatever episode. So
he's been working out every day. We probably haven't seen one of them.
Yeah. So basically he did the new movement that we saw was basically a dumbbell clean to a press. So
That's fine. Yes, CrossFit people will know this.
yeah, and
He
so
wasn't wearing
that
shoes. I noticed that because I thought
yeah,
of you.
yeah, he's good. And so but yeah, I thought what he did, like one of his now that I saw like a different like camera angle, I guess, like he was hanging from the when he was doing his gosh, I always forget what it's called, but he was
So
totally
the thing
like,
where he was raising the legs.
yeah, like leg raises pretty much, yeah, he was too tall for that. So like I think he needed like it had to be like the machine had to be a little bit taller, but yeah, he was bending his legs a lot. So I was like, oh, that's what happens when you're too tall. So yeah.
Again, this episode, too tall problems. Too
Yeah,
tall.
seriously.
Him and Jin, too many problems if you're tall.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, he still got his ab workout in from that, like
Yeah.
for sure,
I
so
thought it was interesting. It's like they've been running around and doing stuff, but he was still like, okay, I gotta go work out. Like he is so dedicated.
yeah, good for him,
I'm on vacation. I'm working out like this. Huh?
Which is really funny that you said that, because when we go to Korea together, I'm already looking at CrossFit gyms. So
I know it's gonna be so nice. While I sleep in, you'll work out.
I'll be like, Beth, do you want to come? No. Okay,
no.
bye.
Like, I'll meet you at breakfast in an hour.
Yeah, but yeah, like it's always fun to see like what they're doing in the gym. I mean, at least for me, because it gives me an idea like what their workouts are, because I want to do their workouts,
right?
So
I mean, if BTS put out like a YouTube channel of their workouts, like 5-minute workouts every day, you would definitely be watching that.
I will definitely be watching because I will be copying them.
Yeah.
So
PM, that's my idea. If you guys use it, I want 10%.
Yes.
Calling it now.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it, guys. People are interested. They want to know how you look like that.
Yeah. Not 5 minutes, 45 minutes.
All right, 45. The fans have spoken. Meanwhile, the guys outside have decided they're never going to kick that ball into the basketball hoop. It is not going to happen. So,
nope.
Since they told themselves they couldn't even go inside until they did that, it's pouring rain, pouring. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they change it. They decide they're going to throw the basketball in, but one-handed free throw. Yeah. You can do that. You can go in.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that this is a slam dunk. No problem. We got this. Nobody gets it.
No.
We've seen at least 3 or 4 tries and not one. I mean, they've gotten close, a lot closer than kicking it, but it's not as easy as it seems. And I'm a little worried they're all going to come down with like some sort of head cold after being in the rain for an hour.
Right? Okay. I thought you were going to call me old again because I was going to make that comment,
That's just common sense. I'm sure every one of their mothers was worried when they were watching it.
Yeah. I was going to be like, man, they're going to catch a cold. And then they're going to think like, oh my gosh, did I catch COVID? Then I need to go because catching a cold nowadays, let me tell you,
terrible. You can't even have a cough.
Yeah. And yes, I did cough earlier. I don't have COVID, but it's just like, my goodness, like now having a cold these days kind of sucks, because of, the whole situation. Yeah. And so all I thought was like, man, please do not get sick. Please do not get sick, and I was like, oh, please don't.
And their clothes looked like so like heavy and like sodden, and like I was just like, oh man.
Yeah, they've been out there for a while.
At one point, didn't Tay Jimin, I think, said, he's like, I can't see, it's raining so hard, and they like pulled back and it was like really raining. It wasn't just like a drizzle. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
like it's fun in the beginning, but there you do reach a saturation point, I feel like, where you're like, I'm uncomfortable, everything's wet.
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh my goodness, those guys.
And then it cut off there. We still don't know if they made it inside. I mean, eventually they have to go inside. Yeah. But I'm wondering if they're going to have to compromise again.
Yeah. Okay, who do you think is going to make the first basket?
Ooh, I mean, my default choice would be JK because it's JK, but they did make it seem like it might be Tay, which would be very cool.
Yeah, I think it's Tay too.
He seemed very
So
confident too. Like he's more confident about basketball than volleyball for
yeah.
sure. Although
Hmm.
I might kind of like it if Suga comes out of the studio and sees all of them and laughs at them and does it in one shot. I would be down for that too. That would be really funny.
That would be epic for sure.
And then they're like, he got it in. We all get to go.
Yeah. All right, let's go back in. You know.
And of course, our saddest thing was learning that the next episode's the last episode.
Yeah.
It's been so much fun. I love how long they are. You know, it feels like mini movies, but relaxing. The opposite. What's the opposite of an action movie?
Yeah. I mean,
it's like a slice of life, like very chill, but still fun. I mean, I could
yeah.
watch them cook and eat all day long.
I know, right? And like the whole episode made me hungry.
Yes,
you know, because
it
they're
did make
constantly
me hungry.
yeah. I eat ramen because of them. Dang. Yeah, but it is very relaxing. It's very enjoyable. It's like this past episode, it was like an hour and 34 minutes. It didn't feel like an hour and 34 minutes,
No.
quite honestly. So,
and there are plenty of times where I'm like, I don't have time for a movie, but I watched this twice.
yeah.
In a week. In like 4 days, really.
Right. And so,
you're right. It felt like it flew. And yeah, I mean, we loved all the episodes, but this one, for some reason, I just really, really enjoyed. And I'm gonna say a big part of it was probably Jin.
oh yeah.
He was really making me laugh this episode.
Yeah. All the unintentional things that happen.
And Suga seemed really, really relaxed. Like maybe it took him a day or two to, you know how sometimes if you work at a high stress level, it's hard, even when you go on vacation, to like, I always call it taking the coat off, like just like leaving your old life behind for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You've got too much stuff on your mind. So this episode, he just seemed so relaxed and so chill. Even then when they had to work, it was like, because he wanted to,
right.
It's enjoyable for him. He likes it.
Yeah.
So I love seeing that side of Suga.
Yeah. Like he smelled a ton in this episode, so yeah, definitely. Yeah. I could see what you mean for sure. Yeah, but this is definitely like my favorite like episode too, like out of the 4 so far. And like you said, like they're all of them are a lot more relaxed. I felt like, I mean, just like the certain things too that happen, like the whole haunted houses and stuff like that. It's like you see Jimin being a rascal and Jin being like, poor guy having a bad day, but at least he's still like kind of relaxing too, like he's having
nothing's going right, but he's still enjoying himself.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's it sucks that the next episode is going to be the last, but it's all right.
Yeah, it's been really fun, and I feel like there's going to be another one, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so and this wraps up our 4th episode recap reaction discussion.
It's a title.
Yeah. So we are LaChiMoLaLa, and we will see you guys next week for the finale for episode 5. 안녕.